Pop quiz. How do I get
Hi.
players excited for my update? Is it A, a trailer previewing the update, you know, maybe some video clips, a little bit of content here and there. B, a sneak peek forum post detailing some, but maybe not all, of the new content from the update with some teaser images, of course. Or is it C, banner on the forums 24 to 48 hours before the update drops with very little and vague information? Now, to some people, the answer is fairly obvious. I mean, A or B sounds great, and if you combine it with C, you can get a great little teaser that'll really give you some hype for your update. But as of late, it really just seems like ZARP is interested in option C, or nothing at all, and it really just leaves much to be desired. What is developer transparency? In simple terms, developer transparency is when the owners or developers of a game communicate what they're doing with the server or the game that they're working on, communicating that to their community. For example, sneak peeks, trailers for updates, community Q&As, things that just can communicate to the community what they're actively working on in terms to bring new content to the game. One of the things with that is just the fact that there are just forms of developer transparency that just aren't used at all by the community team anymore. And I'm not saying I expect them to make gameplay trailers for everything. That was something I just really enjoyed doing, and I don't expect that to be, continued. But how about like the Discord sneak peeks channel, you take a look in there and it's just map stuff, and then you scroll up like once and you're back to 2023. Now, one could argue that, well, hey, that's kind of bleeding into when you were a CM. Yeah. But I mean, the point still kind of stands. Maybe we should throw some more gameplay related things in there. I got shout out to Richard for doing some map stuff in there. But, forum sneak peeks, the ones Xnator used to do. Where are those? Just, the update threads, they're just not there anymore, When this GenCorp Pass thing released, all the information I got was that a disruptor suit was added. Nothing about what that could be, so I guess there's really no way for me to know what it is other than logging onto the server, buying a booster, getting the suit, trying it out. I mean, there needs to be ways for information to be spread if you want to build hype for your update. I'm not saying say what every single item does in your new case that you're adding, but give the players something to speculate about. There was this thread that Xnator released with like a picture of the icon for the ability for the agility suit, and people were speculating, I wonder what that could do. We got to do more stuff like that. It kind of bleeds into a problem about how the current update cycle is hypeless. I don't really like the whole update banner that says X pass, a timer countdown, and then maybe like a screenshot of the suit. If you're expecting people to get excited, something like that just isn't cutting it. You really need to put a little bit more into it to get people to be more excited. And hey, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm crazy, but if you ask me, hey, Ozzy, when's the last time you've been excited for a ZARP update? Probably one where I've had information about what was going to be on in the update, even from a user's perspective, something where they can have an idea of what might be coming, other than just the name of the update, you just want to make sure that you're maybe being a little more informative. It might make people more excited, give people more reason to log on, to, check things out. It wouldn't be fair for me to complain without offering some solutions. So here are some solutions I'm thinking of that really aren't that high effort. One of them is, but I'll get into that in some more detail in a second here. More detailed sneak peeks. Do what Xnator used to do. Those threads were good, and do more of those. Even if it's just a forum post with still images from the test server, it gives people something to be excited about. So do that. And then I guess the other thing I would be thinking about is, if you really want to try doing trailers, I mean, I'd recommend it. I think it's the best way to display an update, but like I said, I'm not expecting that. That does take a lot of time and effort, and if somebody doesn't want to put that effort in because they'd rather spend that time developing, or your community managers who aren't developing don't want to do that or don't know how to edit videos, that's fine. Whatever. I can understand that comes to a there could be some issues with that. Here's my idea. ZARP public test server. How this would work is you would use the hit Discord feature stages that you used in the community Q&As. You would set up a time where you invite people, anybody you want, to join the test server. The only requirement being they have to, you know, be in the Discord VC, and then your community managers, you know, you do have an entire role, you might as well take advantage of it. You know, you should have those people just organize nuke v nukes. Like, if you want to test out new content, this will totally make people more excited to play your update, by the way, when it drops on live. Now, this is going to obviously take a lot of effort, making public people able to use the test server. You might even need a whole new server in itself. But the point being is, if you have public testing sessions, think of it as like a PTB on like Dead by Daylight, or like the Siege test server, or the PUBG test server, or any video game ever. Minecraft snapshots. You know, I could go on for a long time, but you kind of get the point. A public test server literally gives people the content before it's out and lets them get excited about it. You know? Just give them something to do. I don't know. That's really about it. This wasn't meant to be a very long video. But listen, guys. It's quite clear that the player count is very much so at an all-time low. And I'm sure you guys have some kind of plans on what you're going to do to save that. But from the looks of it, it really doesn't look like that you guys care that much, especially with what I pointed out at the beginning of this video, where there hasn't been a CM team meeting outcome in 2 months. I didn't even know Father Watson was CM, and much less, you know, you gotta talk about these things. You know, community team outcomes. You know, we used to put in those, hey, here's what we're working on for SSRP. Do something. Show that you care. Give the players something to hope for. You know, this isn't really that... I'm not trying to be harsh in this video or anything, but it's like, you know, even though I don't play and probably won't, it's more about the fact that I care, and seeing this ship sink like this, it doesn't sit right with me. So you know what? It's your guys' turn. Do something.